Hey there, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to have a look at Machine Drum Mark 1 and MegaCommand Box. We're going to specifically look at the grid. So so let's start maybe with pairing these two devices. So in order for the Machine Drum to be able to see MegaCommand Box, we need to make sure that we are on the Electron machine, we are in enhanced mode, and this is done by pressing the button here and then going into enhanced mode. Classic and extended LEDs are now lit. Okay, so the system, the boxes should be now able to talk to each other. Okay, so let's maybe create a new project on the MCL. So I will go like press new project, and then I call it, I don't know, project T12. Yeah, why not? Okay. So now a new project is being initialized, and it's created and saved to a SD card that is inside of the MegaCommand box. It's going to be a brand new, fresh project. Waiting, initializing. Okay. Right, doing something magic, I suppose. And it should be ready in a second. Okay, so we are in a completely new project. There's just one more thing I would like to do, is basically I will just load an empty pattern. So that's this first row here. Okay, so that's a 01 pattern, and then I will try to explain everything. So I will leave, I will leave this first line. So this is the first row, and then I will try to create some music stuff starting from pattern A02. But first, because this is going to be a first video in a series of videos that I'm going to probably make to explain different features for of the MegaCommand box. So let's see what kind of pages we will be going through. Maybe not today, but soon. So the grid, so that's the first one for today. Then we have mixer, then we have performance mode, then we have routing, step edit page, LFO, piano roll, so that's for mono machine and external synths. Then we've got chromatic, sample manager, and wave designer. Both of these pages are meant to work with Machine Drum user wave version. I don't have that. I have Mark 1 Machine Drum, so I won't be able to present this. Then we've got delay and reverb, and then RAM 1, RAM 2. So that's also for user wave version of our Electron Machine Drum. So today, this is the grid. Okay, so basically there are actually two grids. So when you can, when I press scale setup, you will see that now I'm in Y grid. So this is the X grid here, and then I am in the Y grid. So the X grid controls Machine Drum. So we will be using this, excuse me, primarily today. Right, how shall I start? Oh, maybe I will just, maybe I will just load up a kit, and then we'll try to make some musical stuff like this, for example, this demo. Okay, so we've got some sound. Let me just adjust everything on my headphones. Okay, lovely. So, you know what? Let's start making a very simple beat, nothing fancy, just to make sure that there are a couple of instruments, and we can then combine different parts and different tracks from different patterns just to see how it actually works. So, yeah, let's start with this one. Something like this. Then what do we have here? Okay, simple hi-hat, something like this, okay? Why not? Okay. Maybe I will go straight to snare drum. And then I will save the whole thing. So first of all, I will save it as a pattern. I will explain later on what's going on. So I will just press yes and then yes, okay? Right, so what do we have here? So what we have here is pattern A02, and that's complete 16 tracks. Obviously some of them are empty, so that's how it looks. We can also use the encoder to travel in this one, in this X grid. So this is now the active pattern A02 being played here. If I go here and then load the empty pattern, it's going to be quiet. And then again, this is the the pattern 02. Okay, so when we travel with this cursor, please try to see what is happening here. So this is the row of tracks for pattern A01, A02, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. We can travel faster by pressing function. So these are exactly all the patterns that we can have in this little project, yeah, created on this MegaCommand box. But the fun begins when suddenly you want to, and you can do that, okay? You want to mix different tracks from different patterns and then basically try to combine them between each other. So let's say we have this pattern. But for some reason, I would like to maybe change the SD part. So that's the, which one is it? Yeah, this one. Yeah. So track number 5. So that's the snare drum. And I would like to maybe try something else, okay? So maybe maybe, you know, this snare drum will be, basically there will be more of it now in this track. So I have put all the tricks here, and then I will save it, but in a different way. I will say, okay, function plus yes is for saving, and then my snare drum track is on track 5 here, okay? So instead of pressing yes, I will just, you know, it says save slots, so I will just press 5. So now, if I load this pattern, it's pretty normal. And then if I go here and load this pattern, I should only be able to hear the snare drum because there's nothing else. So I will go back here and I say, okay, but you know what? I would like to now, for this pattern A02, for the snare drum part, I would like to play the snare drum part or track from pattern A03. And this is possible if I press yes for loading and then choose 5. I can hear this mixture of all of the tracks from pattern A02 except for the snare drum part that is played from pattern A03. So I will go back here. I don't like one thing here, so I will change it. So I will go to this track again. So that's the snare drum track from pattern A03. I will press yes, and then I will change the quantization. Quantizing. Okay. So it will kick in every 16 steps. So the 16 steps will go, and then this snare drum will be kind of in sync, yeah? So let's go. And back to pattern playing. And then back to the whole pattern. And then just this one. And back to pattern. The active things that are now being played are blinking, basically. So in this way, I know that if I play this snare drum from pattern A03, it is blinking, yeah? So you will again see, so let's travel and to see how it looks. So these parts are played from pattern A02, then snare drum is from A03, and then the rest of the tracks, nothing there, to be honest. They are played on or from pattern A02 again. Okay, there's a couple of things that we need to maybe check out. So first of all, if you want to load a pattern, you don't have to travel with your encoders, because I think this is the encoder for the vertical travel, horizontal travel. But you can also go like this. So you know that you want to load the A2 pattern. So what you could do is you just press, yeah, I think it's like that. Yeah, you press the A button and then this, and then nothing happens. Yeah, actually it happens because we have now in E02 because the band group is here, right? So let me just change that. And then I've got this pattern loaded. Yeah. Okay, why did, oh, there you go. Accidentally, I was trying to play the whole thing by pressing stop. And then this one will just play the snare drum, yeah? And then back to this. So this is like traditional playing pattern after pattern, yeah? But there's much more fun, I guess, playing different slots. So let's say, for example, now it was going to be silent. So let's just maybe activate the bass drum. So that's the first slot. Okay, and then hi-hat. Okay, and then snare drum. And then the normal snare drum, so to speak. There we go. Okay, so a couple of nice things that actually you have at your fingers if you want to maybe break away from the pattern to pattern playing, but you just want to combine a couple of patterns, a couple of tracks from different patterns, or you have, like, for example, a super cool kick on pattern A1 and you want to use it alongside with pattern A02, A03, and so on and so forth. You can do it just by selecting these slots that you intend to be played. I guess super nice. Okay, so let's see what else we could do. So, okay, if I press this button here, there are a couple of things that I can do with the slots. So I will go to the looping thing here, but maybe let's first see one other thing, and that's also quite interesting. So if I press yes for loading, then I can change here this mode, one of these encoders, all right, to Q. Okay. And then I want this Q mode of loading the track to be applied to my snare drum track, which is track number 5. Okay. And then I will do the same with this one. So that's going to be track, snare drum track, or in pattern A03. So I will press yes, and then press the same track button. So that's track trig number 5. So what happens is now you will see that these two things are now in inverted colors. So when I play the whole thing again, look what happens. So basically, you will have your bass drum and hi-hat played just like the last time, but now the snare drum track from pattern A02 and A03 are queued one after another, and then back to the first one, and then the second one, and then the first one again. So they are like maybe kind of looped. I was trying not to use the word loop because I have this word reserved for something else. But this is some kind of a mini queue of slots that will basically just change. Yeah, so that will, if you use it, that will definitely add a lot of variety to your sequence. Yeah, it's not going to be that boring. Yeah, unlike this one, which is very boring, I guess. Yeah. Okay, there's another thing that you can do, which is super nice, I think, also. So if I go back to this SD and then I load it and then I change the, by the way, I think I should be able to change the way I load things by pressing these buttons. So for example, this is manual, this is auto, and this is Q. I want to go to auto again and then press yes. And then please see how now the inverted colors are no longer, I would say, applied. Then just check this as well. This is also automated. Okay, so now what I would like to do is I will load this one. So that's the first snare track from pattern A02. And then I will press global, which is shift. And then what I will do is I will loop this 4 times and then jump to A4. So this is now updated and I will load this slot. Did I? No. Like this. Okay. And then I will do the same here. Okay. So I will press global and then loop this twice and then go back to pattern 02. Okay. And then I will load this. Go back and load this. And then I will try to play the whole thing from the beginning. By the way, when you play and you are in the middle of a pattern, then it will just continue playing from that place. But if you want to start from the very beginning of the pattern, then just press stop and play. Okay, so let's see what happens now with the SD track, so the snare drum, yeah? Oh! Okay, this is not the field I wanted to program. Okay, it doesn't matter. And then it's back, yeah? It should be back. Okay, let me check this. So, what do we have here? Let's go here. Okay, so this is something that I don't like. No. So this is the program. Okay, so this should... all right. Okay, so this should go from A2 to A3. My, oh my. And this should go back to A2, which is okay. So let's load this one and then play. And then let's see. So it's going to play 4 times this snare drum track from A02 and then move to A3, play it twice, and then back to A01. Okay, let's go. So that's the third time and the fourth time, and then there's going to be the change. And the second, and back to the first one. So in this way, you can create mini sequences of slots and also adding variety to your music material. I guess it's a super nice thing, especially if you want to maybe combine some nice patterns or tracks from different patterns, or even remix them. You can do it by playing not the complete pattern, but a slots, so tracks from different patterns that you have there. Okay, yeah, I'm just looking at my notes if I want to show you something more. This is done, this is done, this is done. Okay. So maybe just one more thing. It's actually about loading and saving, which will be later on maybe discussed when we go to step editing. But when you're here, okay, then you press yes, and then you press and hold yes again. You will have group select here. So this means that for now, I will only load data for the sequencer. If I want to load data for some other MIDI information for external synthesizer, or maybe routing, performance, and also tempo and effects tracks, which are stored in grid Y, then I can mark these things by pressing trigs. So this will completely load the whole set of all the data that I have per this pattern, and we can check it actually. So when I release this, yes, now, okay, that's loaded. So let's go. So we will go to the end of the X grid, and then if you change to Y, you will see that we have also this FX loaded here, yeah? Right. You can do the same by saving this thing. So if I press function and yes, and then yes again, and then save everything, all the tracks everywhere will be saved, and we can check that. Okay, you can even see the empty data for Mono Machine on 6 channels here, and then the complete set of parameters that are also stored as slots, even though there are no tracks for that. So performance, FX, which is for FX, LFO settings, routing settings, and tempo, they have also a separate per slot settings, which is amazing if you think of it, because apart from manipulating your sequencer data and your musical data, you can also manipulate and play the, I would say, auxiliary data slot after slot in a column, like for example in the Q mode or maybe in the looped mode, changing completely the way machine drum sequencer behaves. Really amazing stuff. So yeah, we will be covering more of it. I'm just wondering if this is it for today. Yeah, I mean, just very basic operation just to finish off this video. Super easy. So if you want to, let's say, copy this data and paste it somewhere else, you can do it by pressing no and then copy. It says copy slots, and then paste it here, and then maybe paste it here again. You can also mark the slots that you want to copy, which is basically press and hold no and then mark. For example, these two, let's say, and then copy. And then, for example, let's say press no and then paste, and you will have it here. So if I load now pattern A07, then I will just have bass drum and hi-hat. Okay. Play. Okay. Let's make this hi-hat a bit more dense. Okay, let's save it. So that's function yes and slot. So that's tracks 2, so slot 2. Okay, and then let's have this slot played. So that's this one. And then let's have this one played. So that's yes plus this. And I want to have, where is it? This dense hi-hat is already playing. So you can see this is the complete combination of bass drum from track from pattern A02. Then you've got snare drum from snare track from pattern A03, and then you've got hi-hat, the dense hi-hat from the hi-hat track of pattern A07. If you think Now that you can actually loop or queue these different slots, you will have a complete matrix of different mini sequences and mini looped queues and sequences being played at the same time. So the only thing that you need to do now is just to remember them, because at some point you will have device that plays by its own, and then you can ask yourself, are you in control or are you not? Thanks for watching. The next video I will try to prepare will be about the mixer, so stay tuned and I hope you will enjoy the video. Thank you.